The Camino de Maria Stein, or the Way of Maria Stein, is an American pilgrimage that starts in Cincinnati, Ohio, and ends in Maria Stein, Ohio, about 100 miles. Generally, this pilgrimage route starts at Cincinnati Children's Hospital to honor the children that have passed before their time. The pilgrimage then walks south on Burnett Road, turning right onto Martin Luther King Boulevard, westward a few blocks from there. One takes another right about 3 blocks up Eden, then 1 block up to Goodman Drive, and on the left, and then follow Goodman until it turns into Nixon Street. This is where it becomes Ludlow Avenue and then Hamilton Avenue, or 127. The pilgrim stays on 127, the 100 miles, all the way from route till they hit State Route 119, where one turns right easterly to Maria Stein, Ohio. Once past the hospital area, you will walk through the quaint restaurant district of Clifton, some sprawling neighborhoods, and then north side, known as the Art District. There you will see many bars, craft shops, and restaurants, and other points of interest. The road climbs up towards College Hill through to Mount Healthy, Forest Park, and Fairfield, where we find our first typical stop for the night. If hotel accommodations are not available, there is always a tent outside one of the many churches. I would contact them ahead of time. The next day, you walk through the rest of Fairfield and on to Hamilton, located 20 miles about north of Cincinnati. Hamilton is the second largest city in the greater Cincinnati area and the 10th largest city in Ohio. US 127 snakes through the small city until abruptly you come to its rural outskirts like New Miami, and then through 7 Mile, a remarkably homely hamlet nestled in the backcountry of western Ohio's heartland. And then the day ends for you at Somerville Road, where your tent is pitched at the Bridgepoint Community Church. Next morning, early, you start back up on the northerly walk up US 127. It is here, as you come closer to the town of Camden, the site of cornfields and bean fields that dot the landscape. Camden, a rather unassuming community with a handful of stores, granaries, and houses that you'll pass almost as quickly as you come across them. And not much further up is Eaton. This town is the quintessential Midwestern small town, and US 127 plows right straight through the historic homes, storefronts, and other warm sites. In the middle of the town is a statue of the town's founder, William Bruce. Here, I would recommend throwing a stone that you will bring with you on the pile of other rocks that you bring that stand right behind the statue. Here, you can lighten your load as a symbol of the burden you carry with you on your pilgrimage. At the end of town, you will find several churches, any of which you can contact ahead of time to ask permission to camp outside of, provided you are a true pilgrim. The next morning, on the outskirts of town, you once again can be accompanied by an assortment of cornfields and bean fields, which serve as the ideal backdrop of the solitude and sacred space you share with heaven, earth, the road, and the way. You have been in Preble County for most of the time after leaving Butler County just outside of Somerville. But soon you will venture into Darke County, the home of the beloved firearms expert Annie Oakley, the greatest marksman woman of the West. After crossing Interstate 70, you come into the unusual town of West Manchester, where like an island in the middle of the corn, the community parts the corn like Moses and the Red Sea. And then it is on to Greenville, and another night somewhere outside of one of the many churches adorning its borders. This will hopefully be your last day of walking. And if the length of walking is too much, give yourself a few extra days. I managed to walk 26 miles this last stretch from Greenville, through the tiny community to Dawn, the North Star, the home of Annie Oakley. This final road is about 6 miles, but will feel like the longest 6 miles. You will walk on the side of the road as you did along 127. The way is narrow and less busy. And then you see it in the distance. Maria Stein. Settled in 1846, the Maria Stein Shrine location was the third convent of 10 established by Father Brunner in the New World. It was governed by the missionaries of the Precious Blood, sisters, priests, and brothers who lived on the property. Sisters lived in the brick convent, and men lived in what was the gatehouse, which stood in front of the shrine south of the drive until the late 1990s. The shrine houses over 1,200 relics of the saints and the 5 relics of the True Cross. It is the second largest collection of relics in the United States. From here you can pray in silence or just sit in one of the chapel's wood pews and bask in its beauty. From there, you can move to the Adoration Chapel, where Mass is celebrated daily. Also available is the Spiritual Retreat Center at Maria Stein, where you can stay in a bunk for a reasonable price and find a peaceful, tranquil rest from the chaos and noise of the city. Also enjoy the grounds of Maria Stein, which include many unique opportunities for prayer or to simply spend the day meandering along in a peaceful environment. The shrine's religious, genealogical, cultural, and architectural history is of interest to visitors from throughout the world. Pilgrims are encouraged to explore the grounds, appreciate the beautiful architecture, stroll along sacred paths, and enjoy an environment of serenity and solitude. Some of the shrine's notable features include a beautiful courtyard featuring Stations of the Cross, an angel's garden, a statue garden, the original tower entrance, and the original bell from the former convent built in 1860, a spring-fed hand-dug well, Our Lady of Lourdes Chapel in the woods, and so much more. There is no better place than the shrine, rich in holiness and history, to deepen your spirituality. And so the Camino de Maria Stein is for anyone seeking to embark on a journey, a pilgrimage, whether on foot or on the heart. And no matter where we are in this journey, Emmanuel, God is with us. And even if you aren't a Christian or even religious at all, I do know that when all falls apart, it is in those times we need to move. We need to do something. We need to find our place in that journey of life, the way.